thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I say that we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance.
DC Young Fly.
If you surf the internet, you've definitely heard this iconic, infectious laugh. He was the king of joking in the early days of the internet, and a nightmare many celebrities dread facing. From an Atlanta street hustler to a rising star in Hollywood comedy, he is DC Young Fly. Lives in John Whitfield, this young man from Atlanta first burst onto the scene on Vine, the pioneer of short videos. Back then, carrying his signature red backpack, he would unleash a barrage of merciless, machine gun-like sarcastic remarks on anyone he set his sights on, whether they were ordinary people or celebrities. It was around this time that he tattooed DC on his forehead, representing both his hometown and his ambition to make a name for himself in the industry. This raw, untamed humor caught the eye of Nick Cannon, leading to his powerful addition to MTV's hit show, Wild 'N Out. On this stage, DC thrived. With his lightning-fast reflexes and sharp rapping, he delivered countless memorable moments that left his opponents speechless, quickly becoming a mainstay of the show. Meanwhile, the 85 South Show, which he co-founded with his brothers, became one of the top comedy podcasts in the U.S. with sold-out tours. But life isn't always filled with laughter. In 2023, the unexpected passing of his longtime partner and mother of three, Miss Jackie O, dealt him a devastating blow. The world worried whether the king of comedy would collapse, but DC showed astonishing resilience. He put away his playful demeanor, using his devout faith and sense of responsibility to his family to single-handedly support himself. In his grief, he told the world, even with a broken heart, you must keep going. From using laughter to mask the hardships of street life, to healing the pain of losing a loved one with sheer strength, DC Young Fly proved that a true comedian not only makes the world laugh, but also possesses the courage to face life head-on.
Said I'm only getting better. 7 days in a week, 24 hours a day, we be working.
Man, salute Black Honorary TV all the way down from goddamn New Jersey, nigga. Exactly. All the way in the A, nigga. Nigga, communicating, now you got a network, fool. What's happening with the Young Fly?
What up, Fly?
DCT 100, what's happening on my chill, West Side, young. Nigga, on the Prince of the South. I said it. Fuck they talking about.
You already.
You gotta expand, you
exactly.
Know that. I'm coming to y'all. Y'all niggas hustle. I'm coming up there cause I fuck with y'all and y'all
exactly.
hustle. Y'all stay together.
Exactly.
I like this shit. You young nigga, man. Yeah. Prince of the South. Can't let some folks see that. What's happening, man? You. On my chill. You know what I'm saying? Pursuing my career. You feel me? Just gotta take a little cha-ching, man, you know what I mean? So, once I get that right, y'all gonna see me back on the shit.
Real
For real, nigga,
man.
25, ain't no 25
That's
on
the real Atlanta shit.
The Emergency Boy and that Battle Hype, man. Shout out to my boy Dirty Money, 24. Yeah, man, this shit just, they're taking a day at a time, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Taking a day at a time.
What it is, man? Hood Fresh TV, man. We out here on the south side, fucking with the home DC Young Fly.
Hey, yeah, man. It's your boy Live and Direct, West Side Stand Up, DC Young Fly, Mr. Vine, and Mr. Instagram. Fuck you mean? Got the industry, what it is? Live, Industry Mo Wanted on Live Mixtape, Live from the Pain Part 1 and 2 on that motherfucker. I'm finna be in all the movies, you feel me? Wait, I am the West Side, I am Atlanta. Goddamn, really good and fast, salute. You feel me? Wouldn't be right if you come to the West Side. West Side is the best side. You feel me? Team Ignorant Hood coming in there big, we here.
That's what it is. So, like you say, you got the mixtape going on, live mixtape, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How long you been doing the rap shit?
I've been doing that shit since I was a jit, boy. Since I was a boy. So I'm old enough to pick up a pen. I ain't been doing this shit. I just started taking this shit serious like a couple years ago. You know what I mean?
Say your boy introduced you to it. It took you a while to warm up to it, 'cause I know sometimes street niggas, they don't really be.
Man, that's just my personality, you feel me? It was just like put it on camera, you feel me? I've been clad clown, I just got I got voted for Class Clown, I got kicked out of school before I could take my picture, you feel me? No matter, look like I got that, they motherfucking ass. I said, you know what I mean? Then it's just really, I'm bringing that shit to the hood, man, you know what I'm saying? And she got her nipple, you got your nipple pills too, don't you, baby? Huh? Got your nipple pills too, don't you? Yes, she do, with your little sex ass. Yeah, you chillin', man. You feel?
Out of all your videos, what's the shit you got the biggest response of?
When I'm in the industry and I check it, young fly got too light to live.
Before tragically and surprisingly losing the mother of his 3 children, Miss Jackie O, well, rapper and comedian and entertainer DC Young Fly, well, he was born John Whitfield on May 2nd, 1992 in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, from the very beginning, Fly's family picture, it was complicated to say the least. Now, the youngest of 7 siblings, Fly's father, he was a man named Solomon Whitfield, who was already in his early 60s when he and his wife Betty, well, they introduced Fly to the rest of the family. Now, Fly's parents, they would stay together through much of his childhood, but they separated in 2006 when he was 14 years old. Now, Fly, he couldn't do much as his family, they fell apart, and because of his father's advanced age, well, Fly, he was ordered by the courts to live with his mother. Now, with some of his oldest siblings being decades older than him himself, well, as a kid, Fly would wind up by putting his family members into different categories. Now, those members that were closer to him in age, his father referred to as Grant, which meant that, well, he used to refer to his oldest brother as grandbrother. Now, following the divorce with Fly's father, he would pass away from Alzheimer's, while Fly would eventually find himself getting involved in the streets. In fact, he once got stabbed in a fight that almost wound up costing him his life. Now, once that had happened, well, Fly recognized that he needed to find something a little safer. So the kid, well, he decided to turn to comedy. Now, Fly had always been considered the class clown ever since his time at Benjamin E. Mays High School, where he was constantly making people laugh after being inspired to do so by the likes of Carlos Miller, Tony Roberts, Kevin Hart, and Cat Williams. Looking to stay out of trouble, well, Fly, he got his first job at the age of 18, working for a temp service at a recycling warehouse. But needless to say, well, he hated the gig and it didn't last long. Now, shortly thereafter, well, Fly, he would suffer yet another loss when his close friend Richie, well, he was shot and killed in 2010. Now, in memory of his fallen loved one, well, Fly got a tattoo reading DC inked right in the middle of his forehead, which stands for DeCrew, and it represents his brotherhood with Richie. But that wasn't all this loss spurred on, because a year later, well, Fly, he would finally enter the entertainment business. In 2011, DC Young Fly, he began to rap for the first time, dropping mixtapes like Live from DePain, largely inspired by the loss of Richie. Now, unfortunately, none of this early work, it really took off, and it wasn't music that ultimately led to his fame, but comedy instead. Now, Fly, he would find himself returning to his school day roots of making people laugh after joining the now defunct social media platform known as Vine back in 2013. Now, the viral outcome of this moment, it led to further exposure for Fly, as well as new opportunities in the industry, like being invited to become a member on Nick Cannon's MTV comedy series. Of course, I'm talking about Wild 'N Out. Now, not only was Fly named the Rookie of the Year during this first season of that show, he also met his future love of his life. I'm talking about Miss Jackie O. Now, these two, they didn't meet on set though. Instead, Jackie first met Fly when he was sitting in the lobby of an Atlanta hotel. Now, it wasn't exactly love at first sight, but Jackie was immediately intrigued by the vibe Fly was putting out, and a few years later, well, they'd give birth to the first Wild 'N Out baby. Now, during this same period of time, well, Fly, he also made his return to music. In 2014, he dropped the single West Side Connection, which he then followed up with the track titled MAP. Now, a couple of years later, well, he dropped further tunes like Right Now and No Weed, just as his original platform of Vine, well, it found itself dying an inglorious death. Now that he had some industry experience, however, well, Fly, he simply jumped ship from Vine to the much bigger platform of hosting a reboot of MTV's Total Request Live. This would lead to further projects for Fly, like his podcast, The 85th South Show, which he hosts with fellow comedian Carlos Miller and Clayton English, and well, they often take it on the road. Now, the end of TRL also meant that Fly, he had enough time to finally record a new album, and Curb Music, it arrived in 2018, followed by further projects like Trap Soul in 2019, as well as Fly Womack back in 2020. Now, it might sound like music is taking up most of Fly's free time these days, but he's still an active member of Wild 'N Out, and he's also appeared in movies like How High 2 and Almost Christmas. Now, DC Young Fly was in the midst of filming new episodes of Wild 'N Out in Atlanta when he heard the devastating news that the mother of his children, Miss Jackie O, well, she had passed away while on a trip to Miami at the age of just 33 years old. Now, Jackie, she died under circumstances that still aren't entirely clear. All we know is that for sure, based upon a deleted social media post, is that she was in Miami to undergo a mommy makeover surgery. Now, following this heartbreaking news, well, DC Young Fly, he remained understandably silent and wouldn't be heard from for about a week later when he posted a moving tribute to his late partner on Instagram, where he wrote in part, "Wasn't in no rush to post this because I wanted it to be a dream so bad, but every hour I'm reminded of reality, so I want to make sure I applaud you in the proper manner. You are the greatest mother I know. Your soul was beautiful. You always wanted the best for others, and I admired how our family love each other." Now, elsewhere in that post, Fly would refer to the last conversation that he had with Jackie, revealing that he said he'd pray for her, though the reason for doing so isn't exactly clear. Now, it definitely sounds like there's more to this story than we initially thought, but speculating any further about it won't get us anything at this point in time, so I'll just leave it at that. For now, all that's left to do is for DC Young Fly to be there for his children, Nova, Nala, and Prince Namaya, who actually was only born like a year ago. But as sad as this story is to hear, it's far from Fly's first experience with losing a close one before. Remember how I mentioned he only entered the entertainment industry after losing his friend Richie. Well, I actually did a little more digging and found out exactly what happened. On June 28, 2010, Katerius Richie Moody, he was shot and killed while at a party that had around 1,500 people in attendance at Hidden Cove Apartments out in Atlanta. Now, his loved ones would later sue the owners and managers of the apartment complex, claiming that they had failed to warn Moody and the others in attendance that the site had a propensity for violence, with over 300 criminal incidents being reported in its walls over the previous 2 years. Before his death, Moody and the aspiring rap group The Pop Kids, which Fly was also a part of, well, they had just performed for the celebration that was, ironically enough, billed as the 6th annual RIP Day for fallen soldiers. Now, it's kind of hard to believe that a man who has spent so much of his life making the rest of us laugh, well, he now has to contend with 2 heartbreaking deaths that leave him with little in the way of answers. But that's just where DC Young Fly finds himself at this point in time. Let's all hope and pray that a man with such great comedic timing, such fantastic energy, well, he can bounce back from this ordeal. He can be there for his kids and will find a way to honor Miss Jackie